Starting recording. Joe, I gotta let you know, man. Skype says I have to avoid legal snags by telling you I'm recording.
That's important. Thanks for letting me know.
I feel I needed to. You know, I don't wanna break a law or something like that. You know, so.
Yep.
Yeah. But I found out a lot. I found out a lot over our little break here that went a lot longer than expected.
Yeah.
It did. Couple things. First off, I'm a much better painter than the people who flipped my house that I bought.
Oh.
So, yeah, I found that out. Yeah. Also, I found out that I'm not a plumber. So,
That's important.
I found that out too late when you know those like reverse osmosis what the hell are they called? Reverse osmosis water filter thingies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they got that tank underneath the sink, you know, that fills up and shit. I didn't know that thing was pressurized.
Oh.
Right. So when you unscrew the hose at the top of it, right below your freshly painted ceiling, you learn quick. It's pressurized.
Yeah.
So, so I will not be doing any more plumbing. Or at least I won't do it myself thinking, hey, I'm going to get a jump start on what we're going to do this weekend as we remodel the kitchen by, getting the plumbing taken apart, because we're not tearing the cabinets out, but we're taking the cabinets out to put the flooring down and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I learned. Don't overachieve. Not worth it.
Yeah, no. Coast for middle of the road mediocrity.
I got to. That's the best place to be. Now, on the plus side, I do gotta give props to my mother for picking out the kind of paint that, you know, you could get shit on and it just wipes away. So, so I don't gotta worry about, you know, the ceiling and walls and window and everything that got soaked when this fucking thing went off. But, you know, live and learn.
Yeah.
Learn, Joe.
Nice. You know, I think it's important to fail often. You need to.
I mean, I don't know the quote. I don't know the quote off the top of my head, but I know there's a quote out there that it's kind of like the whole we need to have rain to appreciate the sun kind of concept, where like, you know, like you need to like have failures so you can really appreciate the successes you have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, I know that's out there somewhere. If it's not, and I created it, that shit's going on a shirt on our TeePublic website. So I'm pretty sure it exists somewhere.
I think it does too. Something about a rain and a rainbow, maybe.
Yeah. Oh no, that's something different. It says like a rainbow. You know, you need the rain in order to create a rainbow. That's completely different than what I'm talking about. Yeah. My fuck up on the pressurized tank going off in my brand new painted kitchen doesn't apply here.
No, that's fair.
It doesn't rapidly dry the ceiling.
You shine a light through it at the right time. You may have had a rainbow in your rainy kitchen.
Oh God, see, now I missed out. Where were you when I was fucking things up, man?
I don't know. Probably.
Oh God, season what the fuck is this? 5?
I think so.
Season 5. That sounds right.
Feels
16, 17, 18. Yeah, it's 5. We'll call it 5. If not, I'm sure I'll be corrected when I throw it up on Podbean. But yeah, a lot has happened. A lot has happened in the past month that we're gonna get to. Talk a little bit about it because there's something I want to do. I did send you a list of some Marvel characters we're gonna talk about.
You did do that.
I did do that. Yeah, so we're gonna do that. Talk a little bit about what happened over the last month, how we've been and everything. We all got some new exciting things that happened over the last week. So we'll dive into that, but obviously we gotta do the normal shit first. As we try this new cold open thing, see how this works out. But everyone knows that I am Travesty.
And I'm Cartoon Joe.
And of course you guys clicked on the show, so you know you're listening to this freaking show. And that was one thing I need to kind of talk with you, Joe. Now, I sit here and I talk about how we are a weekly podcast with a little bit of something and a whole lot of nothing. Uh-huh. But technically, we're not really weekly that often. So I'm trying to figure out, like, should we keep the weekly and just be what we are? Or is there a different phrase I could use?
Just the podcast with a little bit of something, a whole lot of that?
I don't know. That just sounds weird to me.
Missing something.
Yeah, there needs to be like that one word in that.
Right.
Like a once in a while podcast. Say that again?
I said there needs to be like an adjective, like a 2-syllable adjective.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
The Purple Podcast. Or
like welcome to another episode of this freaking show. The inconsistent podcast with a little right. I kept thinking to myself, like, if I could find a way to use a different word that represents what we do on this show every single week for a season, I would love to do that. Like pop culture, current event, movie fan, comic fan, stuff like that. If I could figure out a way to like find 50 phrases, then I'll just kind of bump that into there.
Yeah, that'd work.
But I don't know if I come up with 50.
Yeah.
Like
I bet I could come up with 30 and you could come up with 30.
Ooh, that'd be 60. Now we're overachieving again. I thought we were trying to find middle of the road here, bro.
But it's to have extras in case we cross over, in case we both come up with the same ones.
Ooh, okay, let's do that. We'll work on it. So 30 and 30. So this week we will call ourselves the weekly podcast with a little bit of something and a whole lot of nothing, even though we know it's a lie. And then maybe next week we'll work on throwing something else in there. And who knows? Maybe over the season when we get some more guests on and everything, we kind of find a way to associate our guest into like that, like we are the Nebraska cosplaying fans with whether a podcast or some shit like that. If we have like Oh My Sophie, Super Casey, Night Mage, Siren Ray, Kitsukami on, or any new cosplayers we have on, because we always like meeting new people. Or even fucking having podcasters on, like Clint or Fear, stuff like that.
Well, and like with Super Casey, it's right there. It's super easy.
The Dick Butt one?
The Dick Butt Podcast.
We are the Dick Butt Podcast. Perfect. But, before we dive into everything, I just want to remind all of you guys that this episode of this freaking show is brought to you by Audible.com. Guys, if you're just like me and you're a huge fan of stories and history, you're just not a huge fan of hearing those stories being read through the mental voice inside your own head, you can find a way to get read to you, and that's with Audible.com. It's the one-stop shop for all audiobooks. If you go to audibletrial.com/freaknet today, you will get yourself a 30-day free trial of Audible, plus a credit to your first book purchase. That's right. You can go ahead and try out Audible for the first month absolutely free, plus a credit to the book that you want to listen to throughout the entire month. And it won't cost you a dime. It'll just cost you a moment of your time to go to audibletrial.com/freaknet today.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I bet you forgot that we were switching plugs this season.
I sure did.
Yeah, I sure didn't.
And I sure don't remember what it is I'm supposed to plug.
You could plug Ball Wash.
Oh, yeah, that'd be good.
Oh!
Ball Wash. The thing I forget about.
Right.
I gotta get myself some Ball Wash. So do you, listener. Is the code FreakNet?
Yep. Promo code FreakNet gets you, is it free shipping? Yeah, free shipping.
Yeah, free shipping on your order. Any discount off of that, or is it just free shipping?
I think it's just free shipping.
Perfect. Well,
Wait, is it free shipping?
I don't know. What I do know is that our listeners can get all the help they can get. Need all the help they can get. Because I assume our listeners are like us. And we need all the help we can get.
Oh, absolutely, Joe.
One thing I know about Ball Wash is it's help you can get. They've got powders. They've got lotions. They've got a lotion that dries into a powder. They've got all kinds of shower gels and things that make your junk smell less like funk.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Take it. I take it. I don't think it's free shipping now that I'm thinking more about it.
Yeah. I don't know what.
It's weird. Even when I'm trying to remember how I did it, 15%. You say 15% on your order. That's what it is.
There you go. That's better than free shipping, really.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably more than your free shipping would cost if you get a big enough order.
Yeah, and one of the cool things about Ball Wash, beyond the fact that they got like shampoos, conditioners, body washes, they got the like a nut rub, kind of like a cream cologne kind of thing. You can throw on your nether regions, and the lotion that dries as a powder, which I do use, especially when I work a 12-hour day at work. They also work with I want to say it's a testicular cancer foundation, to where if you buy a certain shampoo that they sell, a portion of those sales goes to the Cancer Foundation for research.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool that they do that. And also, they got boxers and hand sanitizer. They got quickie wipes and stuff for the guy who's on the go. If you're at work and you're dirty, but you got meat somewhere like right away, you just want to get a quick cleanup and everything. You got like these wipes that like on one end, like on one side it kind of lathers up a little bit, and on the other side it kind of cleans you off. I wouldn't use that as an alternative to showering on a daily basis. So definitely like a quick get up and go kind of thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense. It's like what do they call it? A horse bath.
There you go. A horse bath. Perfect. Yeah, we got to remind all of our listeners that this season, as we replace our segment of last season's That Freakin' Happened, we're replacing it with our new segment, the Freakin' That Book Club, or the Effin' Book Club, that we are starting next week.
Yep.
I got my book.
Yeah, nice. I need to order mine still. I was trying to figure out when the best time to order it would be, and I just haven't got there yet. And maybe you're in my shoes, listener. So that's why we decided not to start the first week, but to start next week. So now's your chance. Pause the podcast right now. Hop on Amazon.com. Go to Audible. Go to Audible.com and use the discount code FreakNet. And what is it? It's actually go to audibletrial.com/freaknet.
Yes.
And get yourself the Phantom Tollbooth. You can have someone read it to you, or you can just you can order it on Kindle. You can get yourself a physical copy. Go see if your library has a copy in stock. Walk down to your local coffee shop and see if maybe they've got one on the shelf that you can steal.
There you go. See, I think there's going to be a lot of benefits for us doing this segment. I mean, beyond the fact that we're going to help people get back into reading, as I think a lot of people have kind of missed out over the years. But I think we're going to make libraries a thing again.
I hope so.
Yeah. Now I know our idea is we're going to discuss a chapter a month.
Yep.
I believe, if I remember correctly, there's only about 20 chapters in here. So it's going to be over 20 weeks. So we're going to do 2 books this season for sure. And they're not very long stories. If you guys don't know The Phantom Tollbooth by Morton Juster, I'm just going to read the back here real quick for you guys. A journey to the land beyond. For Milo, everything's a bore. Milo is the main character, a child. When a toll booth mysteriously appears in his room, he drives through only because he's got nothing better to do. But on the other side, things seem different. Milo visits the island of conclusions. You might get there by jumping. You get there by jumping. That's awesome.
Nice.
Oh, I got a tickle in my throat. This is going to be a shitty podcast. Oh, I'm going to Colin it up. Let's see here. Milo visits the land of conclusions. You get there by jumping. Learns about time from a ticking watchdog named Tak. And even embarks on a quest to rescue Rhyme and Reason. Somewhere along the way, Milo realizes something astonishing. Life is far from dull. In fact, it's exciting beyond his wildest dreams. Basically, to sum up what this book is about, it's basically, Chronicles of Narnia, Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. Similar to that, but the story is a little bit more exciting, at least in my mind. I wasn't a big Lion, Witch, and Wardrobe fan, but I am fan of what this book is about. So.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to it. I'm very excited.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God. Joey, you want to talk about a little current events and stuff?
I guess we can.
Yeah, just a little bit. Because, obviously, we have a new president. Got sworn in, last week? Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a big fan of the dude. But I did kind of like his speech.
It was a good speech.
Not to kind of poke fun at him in any way, but I think it was probably the best speech I ever heard him do.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
It just seems like this one was like a little more, God, what's the word? God, see, now I'm fucking speaking like him during the fucking, elections. Mm-hmm. No, I'm kidding.
Check your eyes. See if there's is one thing with blood.
He seemed to be more collected, more focused.
Yep.
Also, watching a little bit of the news and stuff like that, because I do kind of want to keep updated on some of the things that are going on. More executive orders signed, in the first 3 days of the presidency than the previous 4 presidents that we've had.
I believe that.
It is 16. He signed 16 executive orders in the past 3 days. If I remember, because I don't have the numbers in front of me, I'm just trying to remember what I saw on TV. It was 16 for Biden, 4 for Trump, 8 for Obama, none for Bush, and 4 for Clinton, I think.
Dang.
If I remember the numbers correctly.
Just in the first 3 days, though, right? This isn't little.
This is inauguration day to day 3, yeah. So the 20th, 21st, 22nd, or 22nd, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, whatever. I forget which. When did he get inaugurated? 21st?
The 20th.
The 20th. So yeah, the first 3 days.
He signed 10 that first day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know a lot of people are kind of torn between some of the things he did sign. One of the biggest ones being that Keystone pipeline.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad he did, but I don't trust him. I'm worried that they're still going to try and do the Keystone pipeline, but they're going to try to make it quote unquote green. And that's
Well, I know, because from my understanding, and I'm not a big, politic guy. I can only go off of discussions I've had with people when I read on the news. So I don't really understand the whole concept of an executive order. I know it's more of a plan to move forward with and not so much a set in stone thing.
Yeah.
Now I know some of the executive orders, that I do remember. One of them has to do, obviously, with the stopping of the wall building, the stopping of the Keystone project. I believe, oh God, I want to say something with the gas in Syria, if I remember correctly.
I have no idea.
And the weirdest one that I didn't, actually there was 2 weird ones that I don't understand. One is he wants to completely do away with gender-specific sports. So any gender could play any sport on any team. Men could play on women's sports and vice versa, which I'm fine with, I guess the idea of it. But, it's just weird to me how, you have track and field. You have a men's 1600, you have a women's 1600. It's done that way, I guess, from my perspective. And I don't want to sound sexist as I'm trying to explain this, and I apologize to anyone who feels like I am. But, I mean, they do it so, when they create, personal best records in schools and universities, the Olympics and stuff like that, is to give different genders that recognition in what they do. I mean, you put Usain Bolt in a woman's race, how fair is that?
Right.
So I think that's a little bit weird. I know a lot of the, whole, men's and women's restrooms things has been a big discussion about, if some 45-year-old dude, clean, what the fuck is the word? What the hell is that phrase? 45-year-old guy identifies as a female, that he's entitled to use the women's restroom. I know a lot of people aren't a big fan of that. But more, dads with young daughters who use the restroom. I've heard that argument a lot, especially through guys that like work and, guys, at the bar and shit like that, just more focused on like, they're cool with gender neutral bathrooms, which I think that should be a great idea to do.
Yeah, that's already.
But the thing is, like, even that is like an argument that people make, like, why do you have to have a gender neutral bathroom? Why can't you allow anyone to use any bathroom they want? So I guess that's a weird thing that I honestly I don't understand it, and I don't think a lot of other people do.
That too, like, so Starbucks, at least in Chicago, I don't know how they are in other places, but like, when you walk into a Starbucks and you want to use the bathroom, they just have 2 gender neutral bathrooms now. And only one person is allowed in the bathroom at a time. I mean, obviously you're a parent, whatever, you can bring your kid out, but like, you know what I'm saying.
No, and I
use whatever bathroom. It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect anything because you walk in, you close the door, you lock it behind you.
Yeah, and I agree with that.
I think, problem with that.
Yeah, I think that's fine. But like, you turn like you turn a bathroom at like a sports stadium into gender neutral. You can't control that. Yeah, and I think that's the weird thing that I guess I don't want to say think. That is the thing that I don't get. Is to make all bathrooms everywhere gender neutral. Now, even like concerts, and I've been to concerts where, people get drunk, people get rowdy, some people get aggressive, and, you see that shit, and it's a horrible thing, with, men getting fucking, lack of a better phrase, handsy with women at fucking concerts. What do you do when you tell them they have to share the same bathroom?
Right.
So, I think that they should, at least, as you progress through it, shouldn't just be like an instantaneous, a men's room, a women's room, gender neutral room, whatever you want to fucking call it. If there's a more proper term than gender neutral, then so be it. I don't know it, but, I guess you could look at it that way. But the other one that I found that was kind of weird, that I guess like thinking with everything that's been going on over the last years, I never saw it to be an issue, at least, not in the last, X amount of years. But, he was signing, 3 executive orders today for racial equity, which I've never heard racial equity before. I've heard equality.
Yeah.
But I'd never heard of racial equity. But He signed 3 different, executive orders for it, and the only one that stuck out was the second one he signed, which talked about racial bias and racial it begins with a D. It's not defecation, it's something like that.
You don't mean discrimination, right?
There we go. That's right. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Racial discrimination against Oriental people.
Oh, I haven't heard about this at all.
Yeah, no, it just happened today. If you have a chance, I recommend looking it up because you'll probably be able to understand a lot more than me. But it was racial discrimination against Oriental people in the United States.
I can't believe you can still say Oriental people.
Well, he sure did. He sure said it on TV.
My goodness. I'm pretty sure, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know. But I was told by my Asian friends that Oriental refers to things like rugs. People are Asian.
That makes a lot of sense. I thought the idea of calling Asian people Oriental went away with the whole railroad concept back in like the 1800s.
Right. Yeah, it ended when we stopped calling women dames.
Yeah, but yeah, no, that's exactly what he said. He said racial discrimination against Oriental people in the United States. Now, you get people take that the wrong way and saying like, why just the United States? He didn't say Oriental Americans. He just says Oriental people in the United States. But I don't I guess the whole big umbrella thing I don't understand is racial equity.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
So the analogy that I like to use for the difference between equality and equity is, say you've got 3 people who are trying to see over a fence to watch a ball game. Equality would be, and each person is a different height. Let's say the tall person can already see over the fence. Mm-hmm. The medium person really only needs like one milk crate to stand on, and then they can see over the fence. And then the short person can't see over the fence unless they have two milk crates. Equality would be you give all three of them one milk crate, even though the tall guy doesn't need one and the short guy needs more than one. Equity is you give the short guy two, the medium person one, and the tall guy doesn't get one at all because he doesn't need it.
So it's more or less giving everyone what they need to make everyone equal.
Kind of. Yeah. To give people an equal starting point, basically.
Okay, so I've heard of that example you just did. I literally saw it yesterday when a lot of people were talking about the taxes and stuff to like the rich. And somebody actually posted the picture of exactly what you're talking about. Oh, so I've seen it for financial stuff, from a financial standpoint.
I've never seen it for that. I don't even know how that would work.
They're talking about taxing the rich, and some guy fucking posted it. If I find it later or tomorrow, somebody I'll send it over to you.
Yeah, great.
Because maybe he just saw it as a financial thing and not a racial thing. As far as the racial equity, maybe he saw it as a financial equity thing. But basically, there was this long discussion, which blows my mind how people are still having these arguments on Facebook even after the election's over. But hey, you guys have pride in what you want.
There are some people who don't believe the election's over.
Yeah.
It's over. Really.
No, it's fucking over. The only people I wish understood the election was over is the people who are still trying to impeach a guy who's not in the fucking office anymore.
Yeah.
Like, that does kind of bug me.
I think he needs to be impeached because I think he should never be allowed in office again, but that's my personal opinion. It's like that's what the impeachment process can be used for.
If they could impeach him without spending money on it, then hey, follow your star and fucking do it. But I don't want to waste any more fucking money on fucking, because it doesn't even seem like it's like a political thing anymore. It almost seems like a personal vendetta that they're fucking going after. And maybe it is like political, and I'm just thinking it seems more personal, but it literally just seems more personal.
Dude, the guy incited an insurrection. He should not be allowed to hold public office ever again in this country.
According to the guy who made the speech, he committed an erection, not an insurrection.
Schumer did say that.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Can we, just as a weird sidebar, and we don't have to actually talk about it, but can we talk about how there needs to be age limits for elected officials?
I would like every elected office to have a limit on terms. I think that really should be a thing. But at the same time, you look at Biden, he is now officially the oldest elected president at 78 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I was nervous for him at his inauguration. Now, I don't know the temperature outside.
He broke his foot playing with his dog 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 weeks before the inauguration.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't know what the weather was. Like, I don't know the temperature. I mean, it looked like a nice day. But I don't know what the temperature was in fucking DC during inauguration. Dude was wearing basically, I wouldn't even call it a jacket. It was like a throw-on fucking thing. Harrison died of pneumonia 8 days after office because of shit like that.
90% of the pictures I've seen from the inauguration are Bernie bundled up with mittens.
I know, that's fucking mean.
From Vermont. I think it was cold.
Right? I mean, it worried me. Like, dude, I saw people fucking wearing scarves, people wearing jackets. This dude's walking in like a pea coat from Congress to fucking, it was the Congress or whatever.
It's the weirdest thing. It's a very American president thing to do.
Right? Like,
and I don't understand it. Like, it's cold. It's cold out. No one's gonna we all know you're old.
Mm-hmm.
No one's gonna say, he's old. Look at the coat he's wearing.
Right.
Everyone's gonna say, why aren't you wearing more layers, man? It's cold and you're old.
Right. There's been a theory that I honestly believe, I want to say I 100% believe it, but I don't want to say 100%. I'm going to say I 75% believe that they literally use fucking Biden just to get a Democrat into office, and then as soon as he's done, they're just going to they're going to off him in some way. I honestly believe it, because it just doesn't, it seems fucking weird. Like, I don't think Biden was the best choice for the fucking Democratic Party. I mean, I mean, I think they had even Harris was a better option to run on her own. I just think, honestly, in the society we live in, black woman as president isn't quite there yet. I don't want to sound negative about it. I just don't think it's there yet. I don't want to keep saying his name wrong.
Buttigieg.
Yeah, I keep wanting to say booty gig. I don't know why, but
sorry, I don't want to derail you, but did you hear what the news accidentally called him by the wrong name the other day?
No, what did it say?
They called him Poot Buttigieg.
Poor guy.
Stop laughing about it.
What is he? Like an Indiana senator? Is that what he is?
No, he was
a mayor.
He was a mayor of South Bend, Indiana.
Okay. See, I think he had some good ideas. There was another African American male that was on stage. I can't remember his name, but he had some fucking. Maybe? What was his name?
Was it Cory Booker?
Yes, Booker. I didn't mind. Booker seemed like he kind of had his shit together.
Yeah.
But I wasn't a big fan. I didn't want Sanders in there, and I didn't want Biden in there. I wanted somebody who's a little bit fucking younger.
Yeah.
A little bit more
my biggest thing, I wish Sanders had instead of spending the last 4 years trying to get himself elected, I wish that after he lost in 2016, he'd just picked a young person and been like, you there, empty shell.
Right. Why couldn't he just Miyagi somebody?
Right.
Warren lost me when she drank a beer on Facebook Live or whatever the fuck that was to be cool. like that hip divorcee mom that wants to be cool in front of her daughter's friends.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Let me grab a beer. Like, why? Like, why the fuck are you doing that?
My problem with Warren is, like, when she's being authentic, I really like her a lot. But the problem is that she tries to be a politician and she sucks at that. She's a really bad politician, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's like she tries to sell herself like so hard. It's like it comes across as fake.
Yeah.
But
and you can tell because when she's authentic, it's like it's really easy to tell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So you brought it up. Let me talk to you a little bit about that. The Capitol fucking riot.
Yeah.
So, is it similar or different than what was happening last summer in the major cities? Not the reason it happened, but the actions that happened.
I think it was very different.
Okay.
Not just because I think it was different, but also because of the reasons. I think the reasons matter. The
reasons, completely different reasons, and I get that. I get that what happened in, like, fucking Wisconsin, Minnesota, Oregon, California, Chicago, Washington, Washington, New York, and shit. I get why they happened. I get it was a racial injustice thing towards between law enforcement and people constantly getting killed by law enforcement. I get why this shit was happening. I get that the Congress thing was a petty act based on the fact that people's president wasn't getting voted for.
Right.
But to me, they were both considered riots. I don't consider one being a protest and one being a riot. They were both riots. It was a group of people who had a malicious act against, I guess property that wasn't theirs. I mean, both sides destroyed shit, but like, why is one considered a protest and one considered a riot?
So for me, I don't have a problem calling some of the protests that happened over the summer riots. Some of them I do not think should have been called riots because they really weren't. But we can talk about that in a second. Mm-hmm. But with this one, the biggest difference to me is the difference between attacking private property and attacking the seat of government for the country. That's a big difference for me.
Yeah.
The other one is I don't know of any riots over the summer that were incited for the purpose of murdering anybody. Whereas if you look at some of the guys who were walking into the Capitol, they were trying to find like AOC and Ilhan Omar and Vice President Pence, and they wanted to zip tie them, bring them in front of the Capitol building, hold a mock trial and hang them on the guillotine that they built, or the gallows that they built. So it's very different to me because they were literally trying to assassinate public officials versus destroying private property as a way to damage capital for the purpose of making a point. Because a lot of businesses won't support, not just businesses, politicians, lots of things won't support a cause until they take a monetary hit for it.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's the big difference to me, is like trying to get people to support something because it's in their self-interest to support it versus walking into a place to murder public officials in the hopes that you can overthrow the government and get the guy that you were sad lost to stay in power.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I get that. And I can see the differences in that. And I agree with that. I think the biggest thing is I could agree with protesting until it hits a point where it's no longer considered a protest. People want to show up in Washington D.C., walk the streets, go to the rally that Trump did. Fine, protest. But once you enter a government building, riot. But I also see it the same way with like Kenosha and fucking Minnesota and all that. You want to walk the streets and protest? Fine, it's a protest. But when you start stealing shit from a Target and burning down dealerships, now you're doing it for the wrong fucking reasons. Like, I do believe there's a right and wrong way to do it. Capitol building was fucking wrong. Burning down dealerships and stealing from Target is wrong. But to come together for a common purpose and walking and just expressing yourselves in a nonviolent way, I don't think that there's anything wrong with just doing that. I know a lot of people, they're talking about, that they're just doing now what Martin Luther King did back in, was it the 60s?
Yeah.
Okay. Very different. Very, very different.
But the thing is the news coverage wasn't that different, and there were riots in the 60s too. Yeah,
but not King. You want to talk about like LA and stuff, that's fine, but I can't believe that anyone could justify saying that what they're doing right now is no different than the fucking march that King did in Washington, because those were two different things.
Well, his march was different than some of the not public actions, the public protests that they did at different times.
Yeah. I think you lost me there for a minute.
What's that?
I think you lost me there for a minute. Say that one more time, but explain it a little bit more.
So King's March on Washington
was
the culmination of years of protest movements.
Okay.
And different protests, some of which did devolve into riots.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that one particular moment was what our history books like to focus on because it was the one that was peaceful.
Gotcha.
But without all those previous ones, I don't think he would have been able to have that last one. And I don't think he would have been listened to or taken as seriously. Because the fact of the matter is, in this country, historically, things do not get done until the people who hold the moneyed interests start to lose money. Just whether it's racial issues, whether it's poor farmers who are trying to defend themselves in the face of urbanization, whether it's I don't know. There are other examples. Women trying to get the vote. People trying to strike so that they can have a 40-hour work week and 8-hour days. Nobody listens until the people who actually have the power to do anything start to lose money. And they don't usually start to lose money until you start burning things down. And it sucks, and I'm not like happy about it, but like King himself was famous for saying, first of all, the riot is the voice of the unheard. If you just fucking listen and do what we're asking you to do, we wouldn't have to riot. The other
I want to find that speech where Martin Luther King says the F word.
Yeah, he does. I don't think he ever said it in public, but there is some audio. I've actually heard him say it.
I can imagine like him like practicing this speech in front of his wife. It's like the time for action is fucking now, and his wife's like, I like it, but let's take that one word out.
Simmer down a little. Simmer down.
Right, you're at a 12. Let's go to a 7.
You're the Reverend Doctor, man. You gotta take it off. But he also said, what was another quote? He said, those who make peaceful change impossible make violent change inevitable.
Okay. I have heard that. I did not know that was King.
Yeah.
I thought it was like Gandhi or something.
No, Gandhi was actually pretty lucky in that his protest worked without very much violence. But.
Yeah. But I guess on a positive note, regardless of who's in office, as long as it doesn't decline our country, I'm willing to accept it. I'm not one of these people that says, fucking like Biden is not my president, because he is. He's there. He's sworn in. He is the president of the United States. I'm okay with accepting it. I'm okay with, allowing it. I guess not allowing it. It's not my call, but I'm fine with it happening because first off, I can't change it.
Right.
There's no fight I could do that's going to sit there and change it. No one in fucking Congress can be like, you know what, Travis, he makes a good fucking point. Maybe we should fucking like revisit now. He fucking won. Now, regardless if people believe that he won by cheating, if he won by some kind of rigged election, I don't care, true, false, indifferent. The fact is, he's the president. He fucking won.
Yeah.
Some of his executive orders, I get it. A lot of it has to do, not a lot of it, at least 3 of them I know of has to do with race. And I'm fine with that because there needs to be some kind of change and growth in, equality and this equity that he signed for that you explained. I'm not a big fan of the Keystone thing. And that's not, and that's for the near fact that I work in a petroleum company. Carl works in a petroleum company. Alan works in a petroleum company. Yeah. And, our jobs could potentially be affected in some way, not so much by Keystone, but by what Keystone is beginning for the overall idea that Biden has for the future. And that's, the clean energy concept of getting rid of fossil fuels and stuff like that, or whatever it is.
It's gonna happen eventually, but yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. And I think it sucks. Yeah, and I think one of the things he said was, and maybe, like, I could be saying this wrong, but I think he said, like, 2045 was, like, the overall end game goal for something like that. Which, I could be wrong, but for some reason...
who follows climate science, that's too far away.
Yeah, I mean, I could be wrong, but the numbers 4 and 5 are stuck in my head, so I don't know if he said
2045 sounds right.
Yeah, so I don't understand how somebody could even say, like, as like a standpoint for their election, or say, vote for me, and in 25 years, we're going to have clean energy. Like, dude, you have 8 max to be in office, which means you're going to be 87 if you're in office for 8 years, or 86, whatever that is. Like, they don't promise anything 25 years from now. But I get that, he wants to start it now.
Right, yeah.
Because
we need to start it 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's like I was telling people at work. It's like I was telling people at the bar. Like Trump, Biden. I don't care who fucking wins, as long as my fucking paycheck doesn't change and shit doesn't get worse for not only me but people like me. Yeah. If you wanna bump taxes up for millionaires and stuff like that, sure, okay, that's
I'm
your
not
call.
gonna be anytime soon, that's for sure.
Yeah, your call, do what you gotta do. The free college thing, I just need people to explain that to me a little bit more on how that's gonna work. But as long as my taxes don't go up to pay for an 18-year-old to go to college, whatever. It's like, that's where my mindset is. It's like, kids graduating high school are gonna get free education. I think right now, they're just focusing on, like, community college stuff or something like that.
Yep.
To get free education for, like, 2 years at community college.
Yep. Chicago already does that as a city.
Yeah, I just don't want to pay for it. And maybe that's petty, but I don't. I don't want to pay for someone else to go to college. Just for the fact that I know how I was in college, and I can't trust that the person who's going to go to college for free isn't going to do the same thing as me. Now, they could be like you, educated, smart, push yourself through. They could be like Maddie. They could be like Sherry, and stuff like that. But at the same time, like, people go to college and they end up having fucking fun. And that first year is kind of Oh shit! You know, not to air your dirty laundry, but Joe, I mean, are you doing right now what you went to college for with freshman year?
Oh, not my freshman year, no.
See, right, exactly. But you changed. Now, how does that affect the whole free college concept? You spent 2 years in community college to be a fucking English teacher, like I did, and then all of a sudden, like, you know, after those 2 years, like, you know what? I think I want to change my major. Now, do you get to go to college again for 2 years for free?
I don't see why not. To me personally, I think education is enough of a public good that anybody at any time should be able to go and pursue whatever dream they want for as long as it takes.
So, like, doctors for 8 years?
Yeah, doctors especially. I think doctors and nurses should be absolutely free because we're going to have a huge shortage. And well, we were already set to have a huge shortage in a few years, and now with the pandemic, I mean, people are burning out left and right.
But where does that money come from? Like, what am I missing to where everyone says it's doable, but we're not paying for it? Like, who's paying for it?
Yeah. So, like, the thing is that we, as a government, as a society, the United States government is able to make its own money. So it doesn't cost anything for the government to pay for things. The issue is that you can also have inflation if you do that, right? And inflation is bad. But the way that you slow inflation or stop inflation is you take money out of circulation through taxes.
Okay.
And the fact of the matter is that there are enough billionaires in this country who, like, Jeff Bezos has $200 billion.
Did you hear, now just quick pause.
Yeah.
That he is not the richest man in the United States anymore?
I know, Elon Musk surpassed him.
Yeah.
I don't know what Elon's figure is. I think it's like 230.
It's just barely above him, which I don't understand how many fucking Teslas this dude is selling to outbeat Amazon.
Right? And like the crazy thing too is like, a lot of it is like pre-sales. They haven't made $230 billion worth of Teslas.
Yeah.
They've promised that many.
Now, could this be some kind of difference because he has moved from California to Texas now, right?
I don't know if he actually did. I know he was planning to.
Okay, because I heard that there was rumor of that, and I was wondering if maybe because of that, because the cost of working out of Texas is less than California, if that bumped his profits in any way and caused his fucking net worth to go up.
It couldn't have bumped him that much. I think the biggest thing is the stock market, and the stock market is going like crazy the last few months. Really the last year. I don't understand it, and I don't understand why, and I keep waiting for the crash, because like it has never grown this much for this long without an enormous crash. But I try not to think about it too much because it makes me anxious. But anyway, for the best experts in the world estimate that you could end world hunger for $11 billion. Jeff Bezos, on his own, could end world hunger almost 10 times over. No. Yeah, 10 times over. Almost 20 times over, actually. I'm bad at math anymore. It's a good thing I changed majors. But anyway, I mean, just... It's an incomprehensible amount of money that no one needs. No one needs to be a 200 billionaire. I got no problem. You make it to $1 billion. Congratulations. Here's a trophy. We're taking 100% of everything else because you're not a job creator at that point, to me, personally. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, at that point, you are stealing money out of the pockets of your employees and you're stealing money from society somewhere. Whether it's taking advantage of public roads that our taxes fucking pay for, and by the way, you haven't paid taxes in a decade because we keep giving you subsidies so that you don't have to pay them, and just it drives me absolutely up the wall. Like Amazon does not need subsidies anymore. They make enough money; they should be self-sufficient.
Yeah, well, they got their own delivery system now, right?
What's that?
Like Amazon has their own delivery system now. They don't use FedEx and UPS.
Yeah, they don't use FedEx. They don't use. They rarely use the U.S. mail.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. It stresses me out. It's like I don't. And the fact that these guys, there are 60 million more Americans who are on the verge of homelessness because of the pandemic. Mm-hmm. And billionaires have increased their net worth by $1 trillion.
Oh, no.
Like, it's disgusting to me. Like I listen to that and I'm like, I kind of understand why the French invented the guillotine. I don't necessarily agree with it. I think that killing people is wrong, is absolutely immoral. But like, Christ, I get it.
Yeah. Hypothetical question, Joe.
Yeah.
You have a good knowledge of a majority of our presidents we've had. Obviously, we did the ranking thing last season. Let's say during a certain term of presidency, the country changed from an elected official to a bloodline ruler, like in England.
Mm-hmm.
What president would you be okay with that decision being made? From Washington to Biden, what bloodline do you think would be okay for them to, monarch that shit? Or however you fucking do it.
Yeah.
Would it be Kennedy?
Oh, Kennedy wouldn't be bad.
Right?
Except for like Joe Kennedy III, I don't really like him.
Yeah.
But like maybe if he had been a monarch, it wouldn't have been so bad. Right. Kennedy, I think, would be okay. I like FDR a lot. I like that he had the sort of like, I think it's called noblesse oblige, which is the concept that if you have a lot of money, if you're a generous, or if you're an exceedingly wealthy person, if you're an aristocrat, then you are obligated to like make sure that no one in your community is hungry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, FDR was probably the closest to royalty because he married his cousin.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking about the fact that he grabbed power really more than almost any other president until probably, I'd say Bush. I'd say Bush too really started the trend, and then Obama continued it, and I'd say Trump continued it, and I expect Biden's going to continue it.
Yeah. But to be fair though, fucking FDR was in office for like 15 fucking years.
Yeah, it was like
13 years or something like that.
Yeah, he made it. He was starting his fourth term when he died, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was like within the year of his like fourth term. Yeah, so 13 years I think or something like that.
Yeah. And like he wants to say Lincoln too, but like I'm pretty sure all of Lincoln's kids died.
Oh god, yeah.
So like there's a part of me that's like, yeah, Lincoln, because then we would have had to figure out who the next person would be in the bloodline, and that'd be kind of right. I just hope it wouldn't go to the vice president's bloodline because I didn't like Andrew Johnson.
No. And Andrew Johnson was, I think he was more of like a yes man kind of guy. Like he's like, hey, we'll tell you what to do and we'll cover it. And he'd be like, okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
But, well, I'm glad this opener discussion turned into, pretty much the entire show.
Yeah.
All right, look at that. Look how much cold opens benefits our show.
I really enjoyed it. This was fun for me. I've been holding some stuff up I wish I hadn't pent up. I apologize if that was a little bit diarrhea of the mouth on my part.
No, that's what this show's for, man. We're talking. We're not bad-mouthing each other. We're just having a discussion. That's what we should do as a country, You know
what? And one thing, I think I'm with you. I respect the guy as president.
Mm-hmm.
He is the president and therefore is my president.
Yeah.
But I hope that we can bond over not liking him on certain things. We'll probably disagree on the things we don't like, but
I just want to
get together in not liking a guy.
It's just weird. It's weird to me that I know there's going to be things that he's going to do that people aren't going to like. Every president has pros and cons to them.
Yeah.
Biden, I think, is going to be fine as long as A, doesn't sniff children on TV again.
Yeah.
B,
Camera.
make sure he comprehends what he's going to say and do before he does it. I think the inauguration speech proves that he's capable of doing that.
Yeah.
And also, really stick to the shit that he says he's going to actually do. Now, I know a lot of people were pissed that he went out on fucking, some kind of a press conference and said, I don't have a plan to curb the pandemic within the next several months or something like that.
Yeah, there's no way we can alter the trajectory of the pandemic.
Yeah, which I'm pretty sure there's probably like a better way of saying that. Mm-hmm. But like it basically, like, I think to me and a lot of people who listen to him, it basically said, I don't have a plan.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was his key point, like in like, you know, his presidential campaign is, you know, vote for me and we're going to, you know, put more money in your pocket. We're going to get you better education. We're going to get you better health care. Yep. We're going to improve the economy and we're going to stop this pandemic.
He gave a speech when he was campaigning for the guys in Georgia. Mm-hmm. He gave a speech where he said, vote for these guys, and literally, and he literally said literally, he said, and literally, we're going to, on day one, $2,000 checks out the door.
Yeah.
And the second he was inaugurated, it was maybe $1,400 to make up for the, you know, you already got $600.
Yep.
You know, and now he's talking about, you know, well, we might lower it for some people, and no, I don't know. I could go on all day. There's lots of stuff I already don't like about him, and they all have to do with this third point that you listed. You can't run on a platform of restoring decency to the country. You can't run on a platform of saying, I'm going to be the honest guy who you can trust, and then immediately break your promises the second you walk into office. And we can pretend that he didn't break his promise because he said we're going to make up the 2,000. It's got to be a complete 2,000. Sure. Yeah. I'll pretend that literally doesn't mean literally and that you meant figuratively like everybody else does when they say it. Fine.
Yeah.
Here's my thing. Voters don't like word games. Stop playing word games.
So far, he reminds me of that senior class president that says, vote for me and everyone gets free lunches.
Right. Yeah. Vote for me and there won't be any homework.
Right. Vote for me and we'll have 3-day weekends. School Monday through Thursday. And
as though a school president can even do that.
Right. That's the poll. And it's fucking weird. But luckily for him, which, I mean, I don't know too much about politics, but Democrats have the House, they have the Senate, they have the presidential chair. They should be able to get shit done.
They should.
But yeah, no.
Nobody snatches defeat from the jaws of victory quite like a Democrat, though.
I just love, like, when cause all I kept talking about, I was like, you know, let's get everyone $2,000, and then it ended up being like the $600 that was sent out, what the fuck, like November, something like that, December,
late December, early January.
Yeah. And then, yeah, they were talking about the $1,400 because we already got $600, whatever. But then I think the last thing I saw I saw two things about it, about these stimulus checks. Is one, even if we were to get a $1,400 check, it wouldn't be till months down the road.
Yeah, now they're talking April.
Yeah. And also, the $600 check apparently went to people who shouldn't have gotten it anyways, like rich fucking people.
Yeah.
Got $600 is fucking nothing to them.
Right? That's my thing about it too. Like, personally, here's how I feel about it. $600 is nothing to Jeff Bezos.
Nope.
I care very little if he gets that $600. I don't care. He can have it as long as you also get that $600. And my dad gets that $600.
Yeah.
And the neighbor next door gets that $600. Like, I care a lot more about the people who need that money to survive, which is to say that you need it or my dad needs it or my neighbor needs it to survive.
Oh, I need it. Oh, I fucking need it.
I'm with you. I do too. But, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to say, you know, but some people absolutely need that $600 to survive. And you're going to means test it? You're going to pretend like this idea that we have to worry more that the people who don't need are going to get it than that the people who do need it are not. Like, I care a lot more about the people who do need it.
Yep.
I don't care if some people get it and don't need it. I care if people need it and don't get it.
Yeah. I got mine actually pretty quick, but mine was also direct deposited. How did you get yours?
I got a check in the mail this time.
Okay, so here's the thing. Well, when did you get the check? Quickly or?
No, it took almost a month.
Okay, so somebody I know and I don't want to name them. I'll tell you when we're done recording, but I don't want to say it now. Somebody I know just got their payment this week with a prepaid Visa card.
I heard about this.
I don't know. When I was talking to them, they're like, I don't trust this. They're just going to go to the bank and see if they could just swipe it and get the cash out.
There were a ton of people who got these cards and it doesn't really, you can't tell it's from the IRS. It looks like a scam. It's got fees to withdraw from ATMs, which no. Stop it.
Well, because the whole thing was, and how they described it was, you're going to get this check the same way you got the last check, which is the same way you get paid for your tax return.
Right. Which I got the direct deposit last time. I don't understand.
So the fact that they're doing direct deposit, the fact that they're doing checks, and now that they're doing fucking Visa cards, like they ran out of fucking checks.
Like they're fucking, you're selling plasma.
Yeah. It's like fucking dude is sitting there and getting carpal tunnel from filling out these checks and sends his fucking assistant to the Speedway gas station down the street and says, hey, go pick up 50,000 fucking $600 fucking Visa gift cards, come back, and I'll give you more money so you go to Walmart and get some more.
Right.
Makes no fucking sense how they're doing it.
Let me tell you, as a person who used to work in retail at Walgreens, if someone came up and tried to purchase more than 2 or 3 of those cards, we called the police. Because it was usually a scam.
Exactly. God, I remember there was fucking some dude was doing he had a telemarketer or some kind of scammer on the phone, and the scammer was saying that he was from the IRS and he owes thousands of dollars to him, but he could pay him in Target gift cards.
Oh my god.
And it sucks because there are people who fall for that.
Oh.
But this dude's telling this guy to go to Target and get, I think it was 6 Target gift cards, and then make it out to 5 of them for $100 and one of them for 60 or $80. It was $580 or some shit. And the guy was just fucking with him on the phone with him for hours and stuff. He's like, okay, I got the birthday cards. Now what do I do? He's like, no, not birthday cards, gift cards. You said birthday cards, and to the point where the guy just fucking hung up. But holy shit!
Oh, that's what. I can't remember if we talked about it on the show, and I don't necessarily want to out him, but Rob Bass's granddad got for I think it was $10,000 or $20,000.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
Because he got a phone call about Rob's in jail, and you got to and you gotta do it this way, and it was very it was a very similar thing. I don't think it was through Western Union or whatever. It was $10,000 worth of Target gift cards. Mm-hmm. Just you can't pay bail in Target gift cards. No. I don't mean to be, I'm not making fun of anybody if you got caught for that, but just so you know, listeners, if anybody says, hey, you need to pay bail in Visa gift cards, they're lying to you.
Yeah.
Because you can't. It doesn't work that way.
No.
Anyway.
No, you want to pay bail? Go to court. Go to the jail. Yeah. It's the only way. Oh, God.
Cathartic out.
All right. We're gonna do Marvel next week because we definitely took up some good show so far. I like this. I'm digging it.
Yeah.
It's the realism that people love.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you freaking thinking about?
I am honestly. I probably would have said my new job until I just had a really great hour just now. Now I'm freaking thinking about the rest of this season. I'm excited. I'm more excited for it than I was. Not that I wasn't excited before, but I was kind of tired and a little sleepy when we started the show, and now I'm all energized. So,
right? Well, yeah. But would you sit there and talk about the madness that's been going on over the last 3 weeks? You gotta catch up on it.
Yeah. Well, and I've been home by myself until I started this job. And I don't know the people there yet well enough to talk about talk about this with them.
Yeah, it's funny though. When I go to work and you could tell who are Republicans, you could tell who are Democrats, and I mean it is crazy listening to these people talk. And I don't talk politics at work just because first off I'm a contractor in a union company, so. a lot of people don't give a shit about what I have to say anyways, but, you know,
again, as a contractor?
Yeah. So, I mean, they like me. They get along with me, but, you know, I know if I piss the wrong person off, you know, it's going to screw everything up for me. So, but it's just weird, like, you know, listening to, because the thing that I noticed, and, I actually noticed a lot more, like, even on social media, like, I remember posting something, I don't know if you saw it on my page, about people's Facebook statuses and how people, like, comment on them instead of scrolling through them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pulling past them?
Yeah. I wonder if I can find it real quick, cause this was one of the things I wanted to read about, cause I made myself laugh just by fucking doing it.
I have it. It's like your third post when I look.
Yeah, if you want to read it.
Sure. The craziest thing just happened, and I'd like to share it with everyone because I think it could slow the hate between people who at one point were friends. I saw a post on Facebook. This is what right one, right?
Yeah, this is exactly it.
I saw a post on Facebook that I did not agree with. Did I think it was stupid? No, it's their opinion and they're entitled to it. Did I think it was unnecessary? No, it's their page, their right to post what they want. Here's what you can do to avoid an argument when you come across a post you don't agree with. 1. Put your finger at the bottom of your screen. Any finger. Don't matter. Use a pinky, it's your hand. Hell, put the middle of the screen, put it in the middle of the screen if you feel adventurous. 2. Swipe up until it's no longer on your screen. 3. Move the fuck on. Crazy, I know. So simple.
I got messaged about that.
Oh, I forgot to like it. I apologize. I did see it.
No,
I thought I liked it.
This is my first time I ever used it. I think this might be the first time I ever used this on the podcast. I had a Karen fucking message me about that. She fucking messaged me and said, I wish I kept it, I just fucking deleted it because I just literally, she messaged me and laughed and I just laughed at her and deleted it. But she's like, it's funny how you talk about you don't care what people post, but here you are posting about people's posts. Like, hypocritical much or some goofy shit like that. And I just put, ha, sent it to her, waited for her to notice it, and I just fucking deleted her. I was like, you're out of your fucking mind.
Yeah, I had to copy your 3 steps and sent them to her.
Right? It's so fucking, I mean, come on. I'm sitting there as I'm...
Or just step 3.
Just step 3. Move the fuck out. Like, I think I had people who actually shared that shit, too.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I had 3 people share that because it's fucking funny to me because I have people who I grew up with. I worked at McDonald's with, and one dude is like a couple years younger than me, and then a woman's like 5 years older than me, and they worked together for years at McDonald's. Now the fucking kid who's younger than me, Trump supporter, the woman who is older than me, and here's one thing I did kind of want to realize, and correct me if you think I'm wrong because I could be. I believe there are Trump supporters, and then I believe there are Trump haters. I don't believe there are Biden supporters.
I think, personally, I agree with you.
It's weird.
Actually, I should say, I will give one caveat. There are some Trump haters who have talked themselves into believing that they are Biden supporters.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Because all I've seen on social media are people who support Trump, and then people who hate Trump. I don't see a lot of I'm for Biden fucking posts because the thing is, riding with Biden sounds like a cool fucking campaign slogan that I've yet to see in any fucking Facebook status that I was like, why is no one supporting Biden and yet just tearing down fucking Trump? Yeah. So my buddy, he posts all this shit, not so much like, like the world's gonna burn because Biden's president. It's just more of, I don't believe what he's saying because he hasn't proven anything yet. Granted, yeah, he's only been there a week. Give the dude time, fuck. He don't put his socks on. Fuck. But then this woman her first comment on everything he posts since the election was, my guy won, your guy lost, let's stop the hate, go back to being mates. I hugged your elephant. I gotta fucking look it up. But while I'm looking up, I'm gonna tell you what I'm freaking thinking about.
Yeah.
So I'm remodeling my kitchen, as kind of talked about a little bit with the plumbing issue and everything. Got the painting done. Got the cabinets cleaned up. We're gonna start putting the flooring in this weekend. And I've been working on kind of doing that. I got enough hardwood to do the entire mid-level of my house. So hopefully by this weekend my house is kind of back together. JFW is starting back up this weekend as well. So I'm excited to bring that back. And kind of like you, where I'm really happy with what the season has to offer.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
So plus, I know when we come around to the Halloween time, there is somebody who's actually willing to go out with us to do, like, if we're doing our vlog thing, kind of like how we did. Because I think we were talking about doing, like, maybe, like, haunted, like, buildings and shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There is somebody who's willing to come out with us and, like, do filming. So,
nice.
Kind of excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
How does one become a fact checker on Facebook? I think this might be where she put. I gotta find like the right ones. No, I'm not gonna post that one. Oh, maybe this is it. The election is over. The talking is done. Your party lost. My party won. So let us be friends. Let arguments pass. I'll hug your elephant. You kiss my ass. So that is her response to almost all of his posts since like the beginning of, since the election occurred. I think when they finalized everything on the 6th maybe or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
And it sucks because I know she's a good person. I know he's a good person. And a lot of the comments that are on those, like, there's just so much fucking hatred to where, like, a friend of mine would even comment there. It's like, hey, blah, blah, blah. If you hate his post so much, why don't you just not comment on it? And then she just respond, I just want to help his ignorance. And then he gets pissed because he's basically, because, he's like, oh, you're calling me ignorant? Well, fuck you. You're just, you're a sheep who follows blindly. And she's like, I follow blindly. You're a sheep who's followed blindly. It's like, it's just so fucking goofy. So after I read that, I'm like, I kind of want to comment on why don't you guys just fucking let it go? But I was like, I can't do that. So I'm just going to make my own post. And that's where that fucking came from. Because all I had to do is just scroll past it. And then it was done.
Or like, just unfriend him. If everything he posts is something that upsets you enough that you've got to post that little poem.
But the best part, Joe, you ready for this?
Yeah.
She posted that on on one of his statuses. Right?
Yeah.
2 days later, he posted something on Facebook about, like, finally got the brakes done on my car, blah, blah, now I know the car will stop when I apply the brake, LOL. And she commented, well, I hope you stay safe and the car runs well for you. So literally, it's like they'll fight over here, but they're friends over here. So, like they'll call each other ignorant and like assholes.
No, actually, that's a good thing. Sorry,
but it's fucking goofy. It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
I think like maybe like 10 years from now, after all this shit kind of blows by and we're in some kind of like escape from LA concept. Maybe they'll fucking like kind of like be okay with each other again. I don't know, but it's just goofy when I see people fucking do that. It's like if we sat here on the podcast and like deep down we really didn't like each other, outside, but hey, we gotta keep the podcast going, right? And we jump on the podcast and we're socializing and talking and acting like everything's good. And then as soon as the recording's done, I'm like, I'm done. Fuck yourself.
Yeah.
But we're not like that. I don't want people to assume we're like that because we're not.
No.
But it's just weird to me how people are like, well, no, I have to be this way over here, but I could be this way over here. It blows my fucking mind.
I try very hard to just be myself in every situation.
Absolutely.
I don't want to be a different self. I will say, in fairness, I don't talk this way in my pulpit. But like, different situations, different behaviors. But it doesn't mean I'm not myself.
That's true. Joey, got anything to add to what we're talking about before we close out?
I feel as though I would be remiss if I didn't say that there are plenty of scientists who have pointed out that there is a way to slow the trajectory of the virus, no matter what the current president says. Or the new president says, excuse me. And that is with at least targeted, if not a true mass lockdown. And in that case, the only way it would work is if they paid everybody enough money to stay home and businesses to stay closed, except for essential businesses. Or including essential businesses. I don't care.
Yeah.
I personally believe that the point of the government is to help us survive and thrive. Mm-hmm. It is supposed to protect us from threats both foreign and domestic. And right now, this virus is a domestic threat. So, if you have time over the next few days, next few weeks, next few months, I encourage you to call your representatives, because we are in a representative democracy. That's what a Republican government is. Mm-hmm. Call your representatives and demand that they do something about this virus, including making sure we can survive it. Because we didn't need to have 500,000 people die. No other country on the planet has as many deaths as we do. Every other country on the planet shut down, paid people to stay home, paid businesses to stay closed, canceled rents, canceled mortgages, did everything they had to do to make sure that their people could survive, and our government did not. And this isn't a Republican thing. It isn't a Democrat thing. Both parties failed. Every single person in the government failed to deliver for you. Yeah. And it is now our job. It is our responsibility. It is our constitutional duty. It is our obligation as citizens to hold our elected officials accountable, especially now that we're through an election. And so I encourage you. It takes like 5 minutes. You can sign up. There's an app. It's called, or not even an app. It's just called ResistBot. You can enter in your phone number, and they will find your elected representatives and write the letter for you. All you have to do is give them your name, and they'll do it. It takes 30 seconds, and you can tell them what you think. You can call them a piece of crap. You can say you're not going to vote for them. By the way, telling them that you're not going to vote for them is the thing that's actually going to threaten them. That's going to make them feel like they have to change. Mm-hmm. Because what they care about is being elected again in 2 years or 6 years or 4 years or however many years it is till their next election. So just call them up and say, hey, we're dying out here. I'm having trouble paying my bills. I'm having trouble keeping myself housed. I'm having trouble feeding my kids. I'm having trouble keeping my job because I don't feel safe there, because my employer is unable to provide PPE. And I need you, as the person who I elected to represent me, to actually represent my interests and protect me.
Man. You wanna know how the government actually did fuck up and make this pandemic a little bit worse for everyone within the last couple of weeks?
How's that?
Somehow, as soon as the election was over, and this is where conspiracy theory people fucking come in. As soon as the election was over, Illinois fucking opened up a little bit more. Ridiculous. And I think that was the worst fucking thing for them to do, because it makes those Republican people think that this is become more of a political thing. Completely. I think, and it's fucking weird, because as much as it looks like it, I know this isn't a political thing. I know there's no way some fucking government is that stupid to create a virus just for an election. There's no way, and I can't believe that to be real. If for some reason it is, I lose hope on the entire fucking world.
Completely agree with you.
But I don't believe they did it. And I think it was dumb because, I'm going to be wrong, I want people's business to succeed. I don't want people to close down just because of lack of business. But it's just weird how 2 days after the inauguration, Illinois went from I don't remember how the levels went. If it went from
all the way down to tier 2, and then this week they went down to tier 1.
Yeah, to where you get 50% capacity or some shit, 25 or 50 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's weird how they do that shit. Well, fucking 3 weeks ago.
God, California, completely opened up this week.
Yeah, and they were the worst of it all.
They have the worst right now. Yeah. L.A. County, which is there are more people in L.A. County than in New York City. There are more people in LA County than like the entire state of Texas or something like that. I am being a little bit hyperbolic, but there's a lot of people there. It's ridiculous and disgusting. I think people need a little more space, but
Yeah.
that's the only reason I say it's disgusting. But anyway, no, I also say it's disgusting because of this. They have 0% ICU capacity. If you get in a car accident, they can't help you. If you have an asthma attack, they can't help you. If you run out of your diabetes medicine, they can't help you because they have 0% ICU capacity. And they're opening up.
It's fucked up, man.
There are people I trust who I follow on social media who have said to me, and take this with a grain of salt because it is social media, but there are other things that are provable. This is a thing that's provable. California, as a state, has air quality protections. There are only certain times you're allowed to do certain things. You're only allowed to drive a certain amount, or your car has to have a certain amount of emissions or whatever. They had to slow and or stop some of their restrictions because the crematoriums can't keep up with the number of bodies they have to burn. And so the air quality is taking a hit because there are actual pieces of the citizens who live in LA County floating in the air from the crematorium.
Yep. And their response to it is, now we're good to open up.
Yeah. It's awful. And that's what's truly disgusting is just the complete decision to just give up.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that, like, you know, now we have to kind of look at what it's going to look like in the future. Like, if the death count rises again, are they still going to blame Trump from last year, or is this now Biden's fault?
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, and that's another thing that worries me too. Hypothetically, what if everything starts opening up and there's no more death counts? Like, what if, like, a month from now, like, maybe 3 more people fucking die after opening up like this? Is it because the virus is declining, or is there something else to it?
Right.
It's that goofy shit that, granted, I'm not saying I'm playing devil's advocate when it comes to it, because I do believe people are going to be like this. Like, you're telling me that we had to be shut down for an entire year, 500,000 people fucking die. Here we are opening up brand fucking new inside the pandemic. You're telling me only 2 people fucking died in the last 10 days?
Right.
It's just one of those goofy things, and I pray to God no more people die from this.
Would happen. I really wish that would happen, even with all of the damage it would do to the trust in our institutions.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that could happen.
Do what?
That only 10 more people would die from this virus.
Yeah.
That'd be wonderful.
There'd be no more trust in the fucking world if that happens.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. But I still think that's better than 10 people dying.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, than 100,000.
Yeah, exactly.
10 people would be okay. I mean, it'd be... But you get what I'm saying.
I get it. I 100% agree with what you're saying. It's just, I think the timing was just so fucking poor on their decision to say, now we can open up. Especially Chicago. Especially these overpopulated fucking places.
I think if Mayor Lightfoot gets a second term, the city has let itself down.
Oh god, I don't believe for a second that Lightfoot or Pritzker is going to be fucking elected next time around. It's either going to be a secondary Democrat candidate, or it's going to be a Republican candidate where people are so fed up that may actually happen.
Yep, I think you're right.
Yeah, I mean it just can't, because I don't want to say that they handled it poorly, but they didn't handle it that great.
No, I thought they did okay at the beginning.
Yeah. Oh, at the beginning, yeah.
But
because
the longer it went on, and the more it looked like Biden was going to win, the worse they got.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't understand that. I don't know. It's very disappointing. But we should probably wrap up. I mean, I could go on forever.
Yeah. We can always carry it over to next week.
Yep.
There's so much to talk about with this.
I know. This has been a very busy year already, and we're only 3 weeks. Today's only Tuesday.
Yeah, today, today is what, it's the 26th of the month, man.
Yep.
Like, January's already almost fucking over.
Yep.
Yeah, so, Joe, tell them where they could, find you, outside of, this freaking show.
Yeah, so if you want more Cartoon Joe.
Oh, that's right. Hey, Joe.
Oh, yes.
Every week our listeners catch Cartoon Joe here on this freaking show. But if an hour of Cartoon Joe just isn't enough for our listeners, where can they go?
If you need more Cartoon Joe, you can find me over at the Geekcast Live podcast at violentpress.com. You can also find us on Facebook, iTunes, Spotify, and Twitter by searching Geekcast Live.
Perfect.
I just assumed changing the format. I was on board.
Maybe we will change the format. I'll look into that too.
Yeah.
After 5 years, it's time for a little more change. A little more. It's like a presidential term with one more year.
I like it. It.
Guys, again, make sure you go to audibletrial.com/freaknet, sign up for your 30-day free trial, and pick up your copy of the Phantom Tollbooth. It'll be absolutely free for the first-time user of it, and you can join us as we begin the FN Book Club for next week. Again, Freaknet Book Club is going to do a chapter a week, so we're going to cover chapter 1 of the book on the show next week, and then every week, new chapter going forward until the book's done. Check out ballwash.com. Ballwash.com is a sponsor of the show. Go to theballwash.com, use the promo code FreakNet, it'll save you 15% on your entire order. You can find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, just by searching This Freaking Show. Because we're in a new year, because we're in a new season, we're going to utilize our social media a little bit better than we have in the past. So that's going to be coming here as we progress. Obviously, check us out on YouTube, just by searching FreakNet Studios. I did get a comment from a lady. She commented on one of our cemetery tours. She told us she recommended looking up information on a haunted building in Pontiac. So I'll have to look that information up. But it was cool to kind of get a response from somebody who is new to what we do. So shout out to you. I forgot your name, but I'll throw it on social media because that's what we're going to use it for nowadays. Our show is released every single week on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, Amazon Music, and did I say Spotify?
I think so.
Did I say Podbean?
No.
Okay, I'm going to try that again. Our show is released every single week on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, and Amazon Music, just by searching This Freaking Show. Whew, that's all I got. As always, I am Travis.
And I'm Cartoon Joe.
And thank you for tuning in to the season premiere of This Freaking Show. I'm out.